Hey y'all, so I'm going to be making homemade biscuits today, but I'm actually making them to freeze. So I do this for a quick saving um, where I can give my husband homemade biscuits through the week. He gets up at 4:30 every morning and is off to work by a little after 5, but he wants a hot breakfast. So this is a way for me to do it by saving money and also give him that hot breakfast without having to compromise on a lot of missed sleep. I'm not a morning person, but I am a person that's very intentional with their time. So I found out that this works and it's frugal and it helps. Now, I do want to show y'all, so I keep my recipes that I always need quick references in my Homemakers meal planner. I designed this. I do sell it on Amazon and it is a meal planner. It's got 52 weeks of meal planning in it and 16 recipe slots for your favorite recipes. So, but that's what the biscuit recipe is in. So we're gonna get started and get this going. If you've never made homemade biscuits, it might sound a little difficult, but I promise it's actually not once you get the hang of it. And that's with any baking, bread making. Once you start, you get the hang of it and go forward. So I'm actually making a double batch. So I'm using more than what the recipe will show. The recipe will be in the description. So just take that into consideration as you see me making it. But this will show you the basics of how to make it. How to make these biscuits, I should say. So you're gonna start by mixing the dry ingredients first. 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay. You'll mix the dry ingredients first, and then we'll work in the cold ingredients and make our dough. Like I said, this is a way so that you can save money. We live on at one income, so every penny counts. I used to buy prepackaged biscuits, and just by me making these homemade weekly, we save about $5 to $10 roughly. So it's not a big savings, but it adds up at the same time. Okay, oh, sugar. I almost forgot this just adds a little bit. Now the fun part, we will add in our butter. So you can use shortening. I've also seen people use bacon fat, but I personally have not done it. I just use this kind of butter, as you can see, and it works great. So that's kind of preference. I'm sure there are other fats and oils you can use. This is what I'm using on this one. So as always, use what you like. I don't like vegetable oils. I just like plain old butter. It does the trick. I need an apron. That's my next thing I'm going to get. So we've got this going. Now I need eggs, and then we will start mixing it up. 2 eggs. I have chicken, so we're very fortunate and get eggs from them. If you have even the tiniest bit of land, which I think some HOAs and city limits you can't have chicken, so I totally understand that. But this is what you're looking at, and we will pour it in here. We'll start working it into a dough. And if you, alright, So I've got it into a dough form now, and now you'll see the final processes. So we've got it in our dough. And you've got your floured surface. We'll make a mess, that's okay. You're gonna knead the dough, stretching, folding. Kneading dough is actually my favorite part of bread making. To me, it's very therapeutic, and it's just a lost art that I don't think a lot of women and men, I know men do it too, so definitely not saying men can't, but I think it's a lost art, like many other things. So, still a little sticky, that's okay. I have a little stick one, so, and I do this with my kids, my 3-year-old, and I have a 6-year-old nephew that's basically my bonus kiddo, and I have a almost 5-month-old baby. And all the work I do it in between nap times, rest times, with them. If my son was here, he's actually with his Mimi right now, she or he would be having his little hands up here wanting to play in the dough. So, hard does not mean bad. Yeah, I think I need to invest in an apron. But anyway, so you're gonna keep kneading. I kneaded it some more, but the more kneaded it is, the better the dough works together. So my dough is kneaded, and I went ahead and separated it into 2 parts. So if you follow the recipe, this is about the size of your dough ball. I'm making a double batch, but this is what you'll be looking for. I've got it kneaded, it's not near as sticky, still has a little bit of moisture. So with baking breads, if you do overflour it, you'll have dense bread, and I'm doing biscuits, so don't want dense biscuits. So here we go. So you're gonna roll it out, and I think how this is, the camera is, you'll kind of get to see how thick we roll this out. If you've never used a rolling pin, you don't do a whole lot of pressure, but just enough to do what I'm doing. So this next part is going to be do and repeat, do and repeat. I have a cutter here. There's many different things, but you just need a circle. Basically, this actually goes to my son's drink that I have reused, and you're gonna cut like so. Just a little pressure, and you're going to pull the dough away. That's okay. And I have a dirty old baking pan. It's well loved. I'm going to flour it a little bit. You can also use a cookie sheet, but instead of wasting paper, I'll just flour it. And you can see my little biscuit. Bake. Do that, and remember, I'm not baking, I'm freezing. So I'm going to carry on. And that's okay if they get an oval shaped. When you tear it apart, you can reshape them like so. I'm going to take my dough again. I'm going to do the same process. I'm going to do it over and over each time till all your dough is used. Like I said, I'm making a big batch, and we will put in the freezer, if you forgot, on this pan for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then we will take the frozen biscuits and put them in a Ziploc freezer baggie, or whatever you freeze stuff in, that's what you use. So, pop it on. Reflour my surface. Sticking. So these will actually be a little smaller. That's okay. When I have smaller biscuits like this, I typically will make my husband a little extra. You can use a bigger cutter to prevent this. It's whatever your preference is. Keep doing it, and I will show you the finished product in a moment. And here's your finished product. Like I said, I'm not baking them. If you did bake them, you bake them at 425, I do believe. Like I said, all this will be in the description, so anybody like, I need to know how to do this, how to make them fresh, I will definitely have that information for you. But I'm going to pop these in the freezer for about 45 minutes and get them frozen, then throw them in a bag, and I will have our biscuits for about 2 weeks. So this is frugal living right here. This is bacon from scratch. It's really simple. Like I said, it only took about 15 minutes to make, so anybody can do it. You just have to be intentional with your time and be willing to learn and have a loving heart. So there it is.